How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast. Right.
Here's the crack.
Here's the crack. Here is the crack.
Yeah. We're handing the power over to Aaron today.
The par is with Aaron.
He's Mr. Topics. He's going to give us topics and we're going to talk about it. We don't know what he has.
This is producer Aaron.
Hopefully it's not too risque.
I have many questions.
Introduce yourself to the people.
6 of them will get all of you cancelled. Introduce myself.
Yeah. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Aaron.
Nice.
And I'm an alcoholic.
And I'm addicted to meth. No, I'm the, what would you call me? Would you call me a producer?
The guy?
I'm the producer
main
for
guy.
the Here's the Crack.
He's on 600k a year, like Tuberty.
He's Tuberty.
Yeah.
He's on Tuberty.
Ran over him a few quid though.
Siphoning 75k off Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so I've brought some questions for us today.
Let's get started.
Let's get started. Let's get straight into it.
Well, we'll just dive in head first.
Dive in head first, like you're
We're actually going to start.
That's rude.
That is rude. I've came here with 8 questions, some of which we might not get to, and you've insulted my mother.
not your
Put them on down.
Just
Anyone's, but it's a figurative math.
It's a fair game. All the mez. Right, away we go. Set
Okay. Right, I'm going to start off with an easy one.
Oh.
Right, so it's kind of in topic for a good few of yous anyway, because a lot of talk about stag do's.
Oh, dear.
A lot of talk about stag
Yes.
do's. I'm just sort of would like you to all come to the collective decision on if money was no object, if you just had unlimited funds, right? And you only had one long weekend, so we're talking like 3 days, right? So we're talking Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Uh-huh.
What stag do would you do, or what would you do for a stag do?
If funds were not an object.
I have given you a blank check with all the money that's in my bank account, which is
Can you do that for my side? Can you organise?
75 million.
I would go.
Is that enough to go to the Champions League final?
I think it was 22 grand. So it should be
really.
good.
I think that's
That's a really good question.
location-wise, where are you thinking first? Like, you go first. I'd like to get your opinions. See, like 3 days, you're not jumping about different places. You're probably going to go. You're stuck to 3 days, yeah.
Yeah, or less. I'll not penalise you for a 1 day bender, like, but
Yeah,
let's say 3 days.
3 days.
We'll limit you to 3 days.
it's hard to go past the likes of Vegas and stuff like. Whenever you're going 3 days, it's
But
like
then,
the problem with Vegas is the expense, really. Like,
although
you're wasting days there. Like,
no object, like
you'd be getting on the private jet in Belfast International Airport.
the other there.
Oh yeah, right now.
Think back to Nico. Andy Malone.
You need 5 private jets to get there.
He'll get you there.
Yeah. So like you're gonna spend a day traveling there, but then does that mean you won't have a good time?
Yeah, do you know where it would be sick? Nashville. Have you ever seen the fucking like street parties and shit they have over there?
No.
So like during the day they have all the like line dancing and stuff, you know, in the bars,
Yeah.
and then during the night everyone just goes out onto the street and goes fucking mad on the street. It would be a class place to go. Just all that kiss to put there in 3 days.
I would commandeer a private jet, and I would go probably somewhere hot, very hot, Portugal, or like you could go to California, find like somewhere with really, really nice, like a really, really nice golf course, and just absolutely rip the piss, go out, bottles, champers all the way around. The wee girls that drive around in the carts, I'll have 6 just driving. Just giving, just saying,
I love sex.
you want a Corona? Give me one. Give me one, a Corona, and take the lid off it for me. You know what I mean? Pop a lime in it. I don't care. Money's no object. I would do it like that, and just go like during the day, just really relax. 18 holes, nice scenery, sun.
Where is like the best golf course in the world?
There's a really nice one in California. I think it's Pebble Beach or something. But it's like it looks like a wee island, so golden and lovely, and then you go definitely sit by the beach. See, I wouldn't go on if I was going away and money was no object. I would not be going on a mad bender, like, because you wouldn't enjoy it. Like, you have to think like you've got this blank check. Like, you would be drinking, you'd be having a good time, but Imagine out in the golf course with the boys, the finest clubs, a cart.
I know what I'm doing. Going to Japan. All the lads, right? We show up in Japan. We've got our blank checks. We all buy our own car to go drifting.
Nice.
Any car you want. I grab my RX-7 and then we go drifting down the mountains together. Like.
Yeah.
One car each. Like. And then we pull up into the car park after and go meet DK in the car park.
Oh my god.
Go to a car show after.
Go meet Han.
Yeah.
Konishi, what's the crack?
You challenge him to a drift off up the car park.
Challenge him.
What about your girl? Alex? Was they with us?
Neela? Yeah. Neela's there. She's like, I'm like, what are you, some kind of army brat or something? Then she gets offended. Yeah, I think that would be sick. Like.
What would
I'd
you
probably
do?
saving absolutely extendable money now.
It's the travelling, you see.
Yeah.
Private plane.
Well, take that out. Take that out of it.
Vegas Friday
You
night.
have 3 days there.
Friday night, we're going to Vegas
Right.
casino.
Bang, bang.
Then we go to this nightclub with Calvin Harris is playing. There's a big DJ, Fred again or someone.
Justin Bieber.
You're backstage.
VIP. Bottle. Average.
Then Calvin concert.
Saturday, fly to like Ibiza or something. Pool party. There all day.
One of the pools are stinking there.
Another sick DJ.
Yeah.
Just bottles. Average.
Balls,
drink.
jumpers,
Average.
Boise's.
Sunday, United City are playing.
Yeah. In Vegas.
We go to Manchester.
You paid the United
VIP seats and all.
Out of box.
Biggest game of the season.
Yeah.
In a box.
What about golf?
Food, average.
No golfing.
No golfing. I'm disappointed.
Golf Sunday morning before the United game.
Yeah, fair. There's your answer.
So you're going for a golf stag.
I'm going drifting.
You're going drifting in Japan, and you're doing this mad shit.
I'm going for a health and wellness retreat.
You're a fucking
100%.
You're unlimited money.
Yours definitely sounds more like a normal stag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, it might be the fact that I'm slightly like hungover today is why I'm making the decision. I couldn't drink, but like I don't know. It's like
It's like you've unlimited money. You could have people with the wee fucking hydration baggies.
oh yeah, the banana bags. They're
Following
You're in a private jet on the way over. Throw a few.
fuck one of them and me.
We doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hired him for the weekend. He's
I just
so
imagine like the boys, it's hot.
Why do you say it like that?
Like,
That sounds a bit sus. The boys. Is it what's going on with the
Right.
boys?
We're hitting
Don't know.
shots.
I go the stag.
It's like what I mean. It's like we're hitting
They feel
sick shots.
safe.
We're driving onto the green from the tee box, and like it's just and
It's only a person here that's done that.
yeah.
I'd also like to
It's
drift through. I'd also like to drift through that crossing at is it Shibuya or something in Japan, where all the people cross. The movie and
like in the movie.
Imagine you just rented out the whole road for like 20 minutes, so you could just do that, and everyone just has to sit on the side and watch. Like,
Yeah.
or no, they have to get on the road, and then you come round the corner and they have to run like fuck to try and get out of the way.
Yeah, every day. You
Just
can't
pay
someone
their
don't
family.
worry because you can just hire the best solicitors in the world.
Don't worry about it. Like.
Brush it under the carpet, sign on.
That was a good question.
I will have to admit there's something I forgot to mention at the very beginning.
What?
Just my bad. But I'm taking note of the best answer, and whoever has the most best answers at the end wins.
Well, that's what my
And you win any monster of your choosing.
Oh no.
Who got the best answer there?
You'll find it at the end.
Yeah.
That or
Shut up.
that.
You whore.
You'll find it at the end. Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah.
The next section. Right, we're going a wee bit
Oh.
weird. We're going to be a bit weird.
A bit saucy.
A wee bit saucy.
I would like to give you an example as well, just so we know we're on the right page. So,
Okay.
but what is the wildest conspiracy theory, right, that you think could actually be true?
Ooh.
So, can I give you my conspiracy theory, which
Mhm.
I think I might, so you can think about your conspiracy
Go.
theories while I give you mine. So, Just Stop Oil, right?
No.
Oh no, controversial. I don't really believe this, but I think this could be true. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. I think they are funded, and the people who are in charge of Just Stop Oil are being paid by the big oil industries like Shell and BP to purposely give the sort of climate change sort of activism a bad name.
I love that. That's such a cool conspiracy thing.
Because if that came out to be true, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
That's believable, like.
Yeah.
'Cause-
No, I actually don't believe that. I've thought about it, but I actually don't believe it. But that's mine. That's my conspiracy theory, which I think could be true.
That's a good one.
You could have a wee think. Like I can cut this out. Like
That is actually mad, like. Because they're all acting like fucking dickheads, like.
I don't. The one thing that I don't get is I don't get how they think their behavior is appropriate. So so it's not too unreasonable to think that they're getting paid off by the oil company.
It's god ridiculous now. Like even even the fella running on to Wimbledon, you're just like, no one is getting behind you. Like, no one is loving your vibes. Like. Your vibes are off key. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weird. I think from my perspective, and I've always been very, very, very fascinated with Area 51. Since I was small, I was always really like the idea that there's this just big, massive area of land owned by US government, which no one is allowed to like see, interact with, whatever. I find that so fascinating. Like the fact that you'll go and someone will immediately be like on the outskirts, or like security will be like, you're not allowed in here. What is going on in that area? Like, I know we talk about aliens and all this here, but like what type of like tech, or what are they working on? And like, even from fact that you don't really hear that many people, it's like, oh, this is such and such, he works at Area 51.
Yeah.
Everybody you on that Joe Rogan podcast, like, worked at Area 51.
Yeah. What
He
did
was talking, he was like testing, like, he's like alien spacecraft, and there was basically like this like sphere was basically like creating gravity, like it had like a gravitational like thing around us, and like it was basically described it like a magnet,
right?
So like you tried to push, so if you tried to like touch it, like it was almost like pushing you away,
right?
So basically it created gravity,
right?
And he was like brought in to like basically recreate that, and like a guy was killed and all. Like a guy basically tried to like do some sort of explosion or something, and it like,
yeah. But I genuinely like see with the whole, I know we took the piss, but the time when it was like the whole Storm Area 51 thing and people were in their running up the desert and it was like a bit of a piss take. I loved that. I was like, I wish I could go in there and just see what's going. Like, I want a big like exposed. Like, this is what's actually happening here. I think a conspiracy that I definitely I think is just like, I don't know if it's wild in response to your question, but there's something dodgy stuff going on there.
what about the 9/11 conspiracy theory? That
What?
The Bush did it?
was brought down with explosions, and it wasn't the planes, because the two buildings fell perfectly in their footprint.
They also recorded that the steel melted in it,
Yeah.
and the burning point was far too high of what
Do you believe it?
It's sort of,
airplane fuel burned
if
up.
you look at the way it fell, like people talk about the way it fell, and like basically there was there not like a demolition done a while just before it, and it was pretty identical to what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just the way it was brought down, like it was like it just came straight down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like,
it didn't damage any other buildings.
and
or
how
anything.
fast it fell as well.
Yeah.
I don't know the facts behind it, but it's the only real conspiracy theory I can think of.
Yeah.
You never really hear much about the Pentagon, because it got hit on the same day.
I looked this up here. It's 5 compelling 9/11 theories. There's this theory that a missile hit the Pentagon, not American Airlines Flight 77. Like, it was early video footage and photos taken from the scene did not seem to show much evidence of a plane wreckage. Theorists maintain this was evidence that the Pentagon was not struck by Flight 77 but a missile or unnamed drone instead. They also argue that the structural damage to the building was too minor to have been made by a commercial airliner, and question why the plane piloted by an amateur was even allowed to crash into the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. There's a couple of different ones here. The United States government knew about the attacks and stood the military down. A common belief amongst truthers is that the North American Aerospace Defense Command, in brackets NORAD, deliberately ordered their fighter jets to stand down and allow the hijacked planes to reach their targets. America seemingly had the most powerful air force in the world but failed to intercept any of the planes that day, which theorists believed is an indication of a government conspiracy to let the attacks go ahead. Why would they do such a thing? conspiracy theorists believe the government wanted to use the attacks to justify an invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan to secure oil interests. That's just weird, like.
It was Bush.
And the last one here is insider traders knew about the attacks. In the days preceding the attacks, an extraordinary amount of put options, in brackets, investments that pay off only when a stock drops in price, were placed on the stocks of two airlines, American and United, which happened to be the airlines hijacked during 9/11. As such, some theorists believe that the traders had been given advance warning of the attacks and were cashing in on the tragedy.
They didn't get that off the Bloomberg machine.
That is mad.
What's yours?
COVID.
Oh my god.
Cancelled. Do you remember whenever we talked about COVID and we got multiple messages from people?
Yeah.
You need to retract that statement.
Yeah, but like, what's people's thoughts on it now? Fuck me, sure, I was saying these the other day. I went,
Just something to do with your...
went to the viewing the other day, and apparently they couldn't fucking show us around it because of COVID. So they're using it as an excuse for something.
They like, there's anger here.
Yeah, I think a bit like just a bit of underlying anger. But I don't know. It's just how it's just been swept under the carpet recently, and it just doesn't exist, as someone said to me before. Like, it just has become. It feels like it was something. I feel like Trump got a lot of hit for it. Like.
Yeah.
I think a big reason he didn't get voted in back in again was to do with how he dealt with COVID. Like. But he was the one saying in the start, like, we're going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And then there was just so much fucking hype about it. And then like not a lot of people died. Like.
I think the thing for me that I thought was sus is like, if you had COVID and died, like if you were terminally ill and were dying anyway, but got COVID and died,
And it was
that was put down as a COVID
death. Like. Yeah.
which is a bit sus, like.
And then the whole like quarantine and shit. At the start, what was it? Nearly 3 weeks. What's it now? Like a day or two? Like what's changed about it that I only need a day now to fucking recover from it? But back then it was like 3 weeks.
I do think though, like with regards to it, like I do know people who died
Yeah.
because of COVID. Like they got whatever they got and it went in, but then a lot of, like, to be fair, the people who I knew had already pre-existing respiratory problems. So like, yeah, I get it, but I do think it was a bit of a, we needed. I do think we did need to stay home, like, and all that there, but like I think it was slightly blown out of proportion.
I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you just like think back? Like, everything had just stopped for a whole year. Like nothing was going. Like,
we were talking to someone there the other day, and his wife at the time of COVID was getting like stem cell treatment?
Yeah, it was stem cell
treatment in London, and it ended up then that like they started like pushing out all the wards like to bring in COVID patients and stuff, and he was over in Peckham or something, and he basically was like, no, you can't go see your wife, and you're not allowed to go home, so you have to stay in the hotel for like 7 weeks. And he was like, what he did, like, he was like, I literally put my mask on, went out. He's like literally whenever they were coming home, he brought his wife home. Ended up, he was like, we're going home, like, you're like, because I think stuff like the situation worsened, and he was like, I'd rather that if you are gonna die, you die at home. So I'm taking you home.
the timing of it was interesting in the UK as well. Do you not remember, like, just before COVID, it was the whole thing, we're going to privatise the NHS, and then that was like a massive thing just before COVID. It was like, we're going to privatise the NHS, we can't afford this shit, and now everyone just loves the NHS. We need, like, the government are all like supporting it and shit. So it's like, that's conveniently.
But like,
how that all happened at that
he
time.
was saying, what airport did he fly out from to go home?
He flight from Heathrow.
And he said he went into Heathrow, and there was one person in Heathrow, and it was the cleaner. There was 6 people on his flight from London to Belfast. Like, imagine seeing that.
This is Terminal 1 as
in
well.
Heathrow, like.
Yeah.
Heathrow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, you imagine, me and you were in Birmingham Airport there not too long ago. We ran to the back tits, like. Couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Honestly. And like, you imagine that just stopped. Like, it's mad, like, when you look back what we had to go through, like, and we just went with it.
I know. And nobody asked any questions.
No one asked any
If
questions.
you asked any questions, you were crazy, like.
Think of the amount, like, the billions that were lost.
How fucked we are now, like, because of it.
The billions that were lost in even with the airlines. Like, think about how much money they're making per day. You know what I mean? Collectively, it's a lot of money. A lot of money being traded around as well.
And then the way interest rates are now, like, I think a lot, like, I heard someone saying the other day, it was like, everyone's like, oh, the interest rate's going up and it has to come down at some point. I think it's like 5-6% or something now. And they were like, oh, it has to come down. But then someone had said, oh, no, it was weirdly low before that. I think it was at like nearly 2%.
It was just under 2.
But apparently, like, that's not normal. Like it's been like that for like years, but that's abnormal how low it was. So like where we are now is actually kind of normal. So like, do you think maybe the government done it just to get inflation back up again?
It's only normal because previously the gap between your wage and what the amount of money you had to borrow was a lot smaller. So if you were buying a house, even 25, 30 years ago, the average house was something like 4 or 5 times the amount of the average salary in the UK.
Yeah.
Whereas the average salary now is the average house in the UK now is 9 times more than the average salary. So the only reason it's a big issue now is because a lot of people are saying it's normal. The reason it's a big issue now is because the amount of money people are borrowing.
Yeah.
So them tiny little percentages make a big, and that's never happened before. The gap between how expensive a house is compared to what your salary is, it's never been that big before as a gap.
Yeah. But is that down to COVID though? Have the government done this so the banks can have more money?
Inflation's down to COVID, like,
Yeah.
because they printed so much money and they valued it. Like.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, because they printed so much money, give so much money away. Do you know what I mean? Like, people were spending money, people were saving money.
But the only
Do you think
people that
people
really
were-
benefit off that's the government. Like, people don't.
I know, well, that's it. Do you know 33% of people believe the cost of living crisis is something the government are using to control you, and it's not really true, no?
You know,
So
that's what the government told you.
I don't think
I don't know. The timing, it was almost like a great like reset. Like, it was like things are out of control here. We need to bring people back in, control them, tell them who's in charge here. Like.
Cool. Move on.
Can we quick recaps? What was your conspiracy theory?
Area 51.
Area 51. Yours was 9/11.
Yeah.
COVID. Oops.
Very confident.
George Bush done it. George was flying the plane.
Let me just write down.
George Bush is actually dead. He was actually driving the plane in 9/11.
I think we'll stop there.
I don't actually really know, but it's the only one I could really think of
Yeah.
just before I get cancelled.
Yeah.
I think, did you see your buddy died the other day? The bodybuilder?
Yeah.
Sus about that in there.
No, I think he just had a heart.
Yeah.
Think you
Nobody knows.
I think we'll move on.
He was only 30, like.
should have just taken in hamburger.
That's been murdered, eh?
Let's move on. Let's pick a question that's maybe a little bit lighter.
Yeah, that's
than
not
this
going to get us
subject.
cancelled.
Joe
Oh,
Static.
God.
Let's
Princess Diana one would have been.
That was going to be my other one, yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh well.
Wow.
I was like, maybe not.
I have turned this place into a house of
A house of
negativity.
a house of sin.
Okay, yeah, let's move on to something a wee bit. Maybe I would assume you'll turn into a positive. Who knows?
Let's see.
Let's say we lived in a world where we all, to get paid, we still had to work, but we all got paid the same salary no matter what job you did. So if you everyone's on the level playing field, right? Everyone's getting paid, say whatever, 50k a year, whatever. Nobody.
Is that not how communism works?
No.
You're getting unnecessarily deep.
It's not just communism, though. Everyone gets paid the same.
Not necessarily, no. But let's just pretend it's working, and it's not communist. But anyway, it's just a hypothetical. So yeah, if that was the case, what job would you do?
The easiest job. Whatever the easiest. If you're going to get
You have
paid,
to work. Yeah, you have to work full time hours. You still have to work 40.
everyone works the same amount of hours.
So, I'm saying you have to work 40 hours. You have to pick a job that's 40 hours a week.
I suppose that's a good thing to think about, too, because
like study and specialise in something like.
why?
It's
What's
not
the
just,
point?
It's not just a case of I would like to do this because it's easy.
But what's the point in specialising in something if you're going to get paid the same amount of money to not specialise in it?
Because you'd still need to do the job. Like you can't just roll up and be like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor, but I don't need any fucking.
Well, let's say you knew this prior knowledge, because obviously, possibly you've picked the job you're going into now because you think or thought it would be a good living and it would pay well and you'll have a good life from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I thought I was going to get paid well, I would have avoided marketing. Let's be real.
But how would that have changed if money wasn't an object?
Yeah.
If you didn't have to worry about the money side of things, what job would you choose?
I suppose that's such a good question to ask someone who doesn't know what they want to do, you know?
It just can't work though, lad. It just doesn't work. Lad.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
I know, it would mean like you
you're
live in a
not
society where no one is ever like really
Like think of
wants to progress.
business, like selling stuff. Lad.
So
Like if they're getting a certain
Right, yes, okay, right. I'm not asking about the socio-economic structure of the world. I'm right.
I say everyone
Let's
has a job.
Fuck the whole everyone gets paid the same around the world. Use three, no matter what job you pick, you will get the same salary no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's not money driven, right? Let's not
stop
go.
trying to pick holes.
Let's not go. Oh well, yeah, but
He's keep prepared.
you
here.
can't be in this
Shut
world
down.
because nobody would work in Tesco's. What would you three pick if I was to go? You can work at anything. They're not going to pay you, but I'm going to give you a good salary. I'm going to give you all 60k a year. What would you do?
I still stick by the easiest thing, like, or what you enjoy the most. Would something that doesn't feel like
You probably just play video games. Lad.
semi-professional
I
footballer or something like.
Reporter.
Oh,
That seems like a lot of effort though.
Nah, I'd love it. I would
I
like
do not
to
do that as a career.
fly across because I didn't know it was gonna I didn't know it was gonna start a podcast. We were gonna start a podcast. I didn't know it was gonna,
Still time.
I could, yeah. Well, here, let's not go deep. It's not about me. I'd be a reporter. I'd love to fly around the world and talk to yeah. I look at even at the minute Oppenheimer's coming out in the cinemas. People talking to Cillian Murphy about what was
Like
the process behind this.
junket and all.
I'd love to do that. Talking to interesting people
Why don't you do that?
because no one would want me. But imagine, no, I'm joking.
Fucking river.
Imagine flying around the world, cry me a river. You're gonna just sit vegetating playing video games all day. You loser.
It's the easiest job.
You
You're getting
noob.
60k a year, easy.
Yeah.
Okay, do what you want. Lad.
Air hostess / pilot.
Remember. Oh my, you don't know this story. Remember when Tommy used to stream? And remember the day we were all playing PlayStation and you got your very first viewer? This was over COVID. And Tommy was drinking while he was streaming. And your boy started interacting with him and asking him questions Tommy's first real viewer. He'd been streaming for days. And then this guy came across him and he stayed for half an hour. And Tommy ended the stream because he couldn't be asked with him.
Fuck this, I'm not talking about this, Colin.
We were here lad, what's the crack? Are you still streaming? He was like, no, I ended the stream. And I was like, why? He was like, he's just asking too many questions. And he'd spend days trying to get people to watch the stream. He had a flipping logo and everything for it. Tommy streams.
Tommy streams. Please message and I'll reply.
Oh dear.
was that the last time you streamed?
And then, don't know.
I think you should still do it. It's good, but
I fucked that. Too much going on.
He just puts on
Aye.
a camera now and just streams to nobody.
yeah.
Doesn't even connect to Twitch.
It's you want. I think you realise it's something you do to switch off outside of work, and when you're doing that, you're just give no enjoyment on anything anymore.
It was always the most stressful time.
This guy is ruining my
It was,
fucking life.
it was the most stressful time of my life. Every time we went on to play Call of Duty Warzone, and Tommy's like, I'm streaming, because then you could hear me and Shay talking, and obviously, video games bring out the worst in someone's personality. But yeah, that'd be what, in response to your question, Aaron, I would be a reporter. I would like to go around and interview interesting people, and
Golfer.
Huh?
Golfing.
Golfer.
Golfer.
So that's difficult, yeah.
That would be it.
Tough to be
That
good.
would be it. Well,
I'd still
What do you
play
play
it.
for?
you get paid no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. If you could just play it. But if you were doing it full time, you'd get good.
Yeah, if you were playing golf 40 hours a week,
You would be.
you'd be some golfer,
Yeah.
unless you were shit.
That's my one. I pick that one. Because you go around playing the best courses in the world.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
See, I'd like to do, if I'd done the reporting thing, I'd like to do it my way. So if you went to interview Trump, you'd be like, right, we're going to play golf. And I'll
No,
interview
you can't say my thing.
Right.
Nice, you've incorporated
Can't do that.
golf into your thing.
No, can't do
That's
that.
fair.
Who says?
You're not going to be doing your journalist job on the golf course.
I will be.
Mm.
It's not a journal. You're not sitting going, someone's videoing you, and you're like, so.
So now you're just changing it into a golf YouTube channel.
No, it means I
what?
could do anything. If I could go and interview Holland,
Not, isn't it?
and we could do penalty shootouts.
Mm,
I think I'd pick something that has perks, because obviously everyone's getting paid the same, so you need to benefit on your job for perks wise.
you need to be
So
RTE.
I'd be a RTA. I get a job beer tester or something like. So you're like free beer, or like an air hostess, so you could travel everywhere. So you get free flights, and then you could spend all your money wherever. Like, I know, a pilot then.
Imagine having to deal with people.
A pilot then,
It's quite strange that
or something.
you
Like,
would change sex to become an air hostess.
wait, is that not the same as an air hostess?
Oh, an air.
Flight attendant, yeah, is the genderless term. Air hostess is a woman.
What's the
Go on, shit.
Air host.
air host?
Steward.
From Shay to Shaylin.
There you go.
Comes out.
Yeah, change gender then.
You could do anything and be an air hostess and get a sex change. What?
Um.
Shit, where's this coming from?
Anyway.
Rectum inspector. Just inspect assholes all day. Or I don't know. I seen something last night. I think it was a movie. It was a
It's
movie.
time to move on.
Why did that come into your head?
Because there's like a movie about that last night.
Oh, what?
Came across an advertisement for it.
An advert.
I'm pretty
I
sure
think so.
your boy had the Hangovers in it, and Owen Wilson. And your boy said he made his
Getting paid 60 grand a year. Let me just go look at bum cheeks all night.
Was this whole pause?
no. They're like the two sons of this woman, and one of them became a
Oh,
rectum inspector.
They're like going to find who they're done.
Yeah, that's what it
I've
is.
never seen it. I want to know what you're on about.
So there's our answers, Aaron.
Moving on.
Okay, so you're a golfer, you're a porter with a splash of golf in it.
Pilot.
No, I'm a
You're
reporter.
He's just a reporter. Let's just leave it at that. You can't just twist it. around.
You're a video journalist.
Do you know where this came from? I watched Venom the other day again, and Eddie Brock's obviously a reporter, but like he literally just goes and like exposes people.
about a
like,
movie
throughout
review?
the world? I was like, yeah, that's a bit
Oh,
like
that's a
if
good
you were a reporter, you could review movies.
So you just
generally-
do reporting on everything. Like you need to pick a niche. Like
No,
you don't
no,
just
no.
go.
Absolutely not.
Do you want to do sport this week, Ross? Yes, please.
I'll
That's
do
not
whatever
how it
frig
works.
I want because I work for myself.
You
Work
could
for-
replace Hugh Edwards.
I could.
You
know, aye. Exactly.
He'd be a good fit. Flag for leg.
Cool. I'll give you this. I'll give you as a choice in this next question.
Okay.
Will we go for another sort of like delving into a deep topic, or will we go for a wee bit more lighter one?
Let's go for a lighter one, please.
Let's go for the deep one.
What are you going
Chase
for?
the decider.
Well, that was pretty light. We'll go deep, and then we'll have the lighter one. If we need to
Not
go,
too deep. It's not like depressing.
it's not like fucking a whole
Okay.
3 inches. Like that's fucking deep.
Stop.
Only some of us could be so lucky.
Let's go. Get straight into it.
Obviously, as we all know, we kind of touched on it a minute ago, that things have changed in the world between our parents' generation and our generation.
Oh.
Money's different. Money's worth what it's worth. Fuck all. Houses are a lot more expensive. But we also have a lot more stuff. There's a lot more to do now, and all the rest of it. Technology is way better. But what do you think, if I know some of you might not want to have children, but let's say for our children's generation, what do you think the world will be like? What do you think the general life will be like for our children when they're like 20?
I like this.
I think.
I think kids are going to be fucking recluses. Like, I think we think it's bad now,
Yeah.
but it is going to get so fucking bad.
I think in terms of work, I think it could go down to like a 3-day work week now.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's a big thing, like.
I think now with how quickly you can do things with computers is like it, when you think of what things were like 10, 20, 30 years ago, like there isn't as much. You don't really need to be working 40 hours a week, like in certain jobs anyway. So I think that could definitely change. And like think how good computers are going to be in like 10, 15 years. AI is a big thing as well.
People aren't going to need to work. They're just going to have to instruct their AI to do it for them.
Like will it be people more operating AI and like using it instead of actually being skilled at the job itself? Well,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I think that.
Like even in terms of like what you do, like videography, like is it going to get to the stage where like it's AI doing a lot of stuff? Well,
The
You still need someone to come out and set a camera up, though, no? Realistically.
robots will do it.
I think we'll try it. I think nobody will like it, and I think we'll go back
yeah.
to normal. I think they'll try it because it's just not going to be real. It's just going to be so meaningless.
I suppose the whole thing of like you go to watch a movie because the specific person directs it and how they direct it and the style of it. You can't really. Well, you probably could in some way program that into AI, like, but you can't. You can't.
I think more like the like sort of marketing
gonna
and
be
stuff.
bland.
Like I think a lot of stuff could become like more automated. Like. What do you think? Do you think social media will be like there'll be legislation and stuff brought in? I just think like I remember someone saying, I think people will look back at social media in 10 years like smoking,
Yeah.
I think it's really
like how badly it affects
I
people.
think it's really bad.
It's basically, it is an addiction.
Like, I don't even know. Like, and for example, like I've noticed, like, it's little things I notice now when you're having conversations with people, and then they just start. They're like, just think it's acceptable to go on their phone while you're talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but then I'm like, did I do that? I actually asked this into the other night. I was like, did I, like, am I pretty? She's like, no, you're pretty good at listening, but like, she's like, yeah, like everybody's on their phone a lot. And you're like, what is this?
It seems like we're going down that direction where doing that becomes more of a natural thing for people, like that with the likes of the Apple fucking Vision shit. Like, you can still like do your whole day to day while that's on your face.
But do you think
It makes it more manageable. You can still be connected. I think the whole thing is going to be people are going to become 100% connected.
But I think if you think of it in terms of kids growing up now, adults are on their phone all the time.
Yeah.
Their parents are on their phone all the time. So to them it's acceptable to be the same. So
Yeah, how can you say not? When you're from
whereas like growing up, it would have been like, stop fucking playing the computer, go outside. Like.
yeah.
That's what my ones always would have been like. And I would have went and played football and hurling and stuff like most nights of the week. Whereas now it's like my brothers and sisters, like my sister plays football, but like my brother had never had any interest in sports. Though.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't seem like, at the time, I was actually having a conversation with someone about this. But at the time when I was younger, it didn't really seem like you had a choice. It was like you did it, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, well, I could just not do that and just sit at home and watch TV.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I suppose like you were limited back in them days, like cartoons are only on for so long, like, you know, whereas now it's like on demand,
That's
wherever
true.
you want. Like,
That's a good point, actually.
like, you know, your cartoons going off at 10 or 9 o'clock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your kids, you're not going to be sitting there fucking 6 years old watching BBC News, like, if maybe he's texting you to watch it, tune in or something.
I think for like people like for 20 years time, I think people are going to be so well connected,
Yeah.
but so unconnected at the same time. Like there's such an not personable approach to people now. Like and it's this thing as well. Like, you take social media for example. I know we talk about it a lot. This whole thing of like people just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But like, do you not think as well as that, because people have literally got access to whatever they want to like please themselves basically at such like an in-demand level, like they can get it whenever they want. It's like, it's going to train us to be more like, it's going to train us to be more impatient about things. Like, because you're just not used to waiting on stuff. You're not used to, like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit mad. Like Prime, for like ASOS, I ordered a package on ASOS on Thursday night and it just came on Friday morning. And it's like that sort of like quickness. And now when you're looking at order and stuff, like my dad ordered something the other day and he was like, oh, it's going to take 5 days to come. And I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why is it ridiculous? Like, what? You know what I mean? I just think we're getting like to the stage now where we're just getting trained in these like ways that if like my granny or something was still around, she'd be like, you're a spoiled brat. That's what you are.
I think retail's going to go to shit.
I think
like stores, like.
I disagree entirely, because I don't think retail's going to go to shit in terms of, I think businesses are now going to open stores and make it purely for brand awareness and PR.
There's not many businesses can afford to do that.
I know, but like that's what the retail sector will turn into. I don't think it'll go to
Just
shit.
big brands.
Yeah,
man.
like Gymshark.
What? That's, I know, but like
Gymshark has
that's
that.
a bad thing as well. Like.
Yeah, Gymshark has that store in Regent Street, and I would argue that's probably not the most profitable thing they could have done. But like, to have a central hub for community, to have a place, like they're probably looking at that going, yeah, we're paying thousands a month for that, but that is a place where like we can literally position our brand to just be there.
But what about the little guy?
The little guys, he's screwed.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, it's like that shit. Like,
Do you
do you know what I mean?
do you also maybe think that now that we've had so long with sort of online retailers who are exclusively doing things online, and we sort of saw this trend of people moving away from high street shopping, do you not think that people nearly are starting to come back to it? Like, do you think there's still like enough people there that are like, I actually like getting out of the house for like,
See, that's what I was going to say. There is a social aspect to shopping. Like, you might go shopping with your girlfriend or your friends or whatever, like, but that's not really a thing anymore. It's just like, oh, just jump on ASOS.
Do you think
like buy something? Like?
You're saying there about ASOS, like, oh, like I took a day, like I came in the day, like you could have went into town and bought that on the same day.
Yeah, but at the same time though, I take your point, but I would also argue about the point I made earlier about the whole impatience thing, where in my head I'm like, why would I drive into town, park, go walk around shops, try and find what I want, try it on?
But that's what I mean.
hard,
That's why I think retail is gonna be. It's gonna keep going that way. Like.
Yeah.
I think it'll get to the point where like you can take a photo of yourself and you'll see what you look like with the clothes on ASOS. Like
Well,
that's
you can't do that.
Yeah,
Nike have that thing in their app now.
But that's
you can
gonna
actually.
be like how good is that gonna be? You'll probably be able to video yourself, and
Yeah.
it'll show you. So like you're just like I don't even need to go try it on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fucking crazy.
Then that'll happen, then people will go back because they'll be like, oh, I can't get the feel for the clothes. You know,
I think
how it actually fits.
I think the thing with COVID, whenever COVID happened, and everybody got sucked inside in their own wee bubbles, and then made people really crave getting out and human interaction, like and going to a concert, going to the cinema, and all that there. But at the same time, the only thing we could do whenever COVID was a thing was go on our phones.
Yeah.
So it's like a good thing and a bad thing because it's made people want something, but then they're just so brainwashed by.
But he's saying about like the next generation, so they're not even going to know about COVID. Like.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like mobile phones and stuff will be so developed that they're not actually a physical thing you hold in your hand. Like. I think it's just going to be connected to you some way. You know, you just think it or it happens. Like.
That's weird.
Because then it gives you that sort of impression that you're not being rude to someone. You can sit in your phone in your head. You're not actually holding a physical device. Because that's the issue. Everyone's like, oh, what is it called, fobbing or whatever. Like if you don't pull out a physical device, then technically you're not being rude. Like it seems Apple are going down that road. Like
It'll be wearable. Like
yeah,
it'll probably just be like a pair of glasses. Like.
yeah,
Money as well. I just think money will just be completely digital soon. Like.
yeah.
What do you think about this whole thing about people saying, oh, like, I had an argument with someone there the other day, and they were like, I'd said something about like, I'd said something along the lines of, oh, like, I don't really carry cash anymore. And he was like, like, he was an older fella. So he was like, you're the problem. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, you're the problem here. He was like, you need cash. Like, we can't live in a cashless society. He was like, you're going to wake up one morning and your bank account's going to be gone. And I was like, I doubt that'll happen.
I think that's fair extreme, but
But like, what do you like?
but I think cash is good too, like, because you know, for the likes of say you're going out and you text your wee brother or something, can you give me a lift, like? And you give him fucking 20 quid or whatever, come lift you, like. Like you can't really. I know you can send people a shit in Monzo, but it's tracked then, like. Like it could get to a point where every single spend is going to be tracked and they're going to be taxed on everything, like, where you can't do that.
The worst.
Like legally, you aren't allowed to pay him. Like by law, you are doing something illegal there because he doesn't have his taxi license.
Bruno's ones were giving out about that before, but like everything being tracked. Like
Yeah,
they were talking about like getting the card machine on, and she's like no one really paying in cash anymore. She's like everything's tracked now.
yeah,
The bank knows exactly how much money you're getting,
yeah.
bringing in and whatever. Like you know, whereas back in the day, like cash, like you would have been like it wasn't as like fucking can't think of the word.
Yeah, easier move.
Traceable.
Traceable.
The weirdest thing was, like, obviously a year ago, whenever we were buying the house, we had to give out all our bank statements, like everything, like no stone was left unturned, and that weirded me out because you're actually like, this feels wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because it's digital, anybody can go in and look at it. But then you look at like Monzo requests, and you're like, oh god, I should not have done that. Like I've sent people, you know, like, what was it? I've definitely, like, you've definitely said to me, oh lad, here, you owe me a $5 for whatever, and I've sent something funny, like, oh,
Eggplant
dick
or
pic
something.
request or something like that. And like,
could get you
then
out
the
of
next-
that.
the guy's just looking through, like, going, what the heck? Like? And then it's little things like, you read that news article about the guy sending the money and was like, actually, he was taking the piss out of his friends and like associating it to like
Drugs.
and all. And the bank was like, you can't be, like, we have to investigate you. Like, we think, I know you think you're being funny, but like, you're sending a transaction to basically like a terrorist fund or something. It's like we like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, we have to look into that. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine your boy sifting through to approve my mortgage, and there's a thing on Monzo, like 90 quid from Tommy, to like, I don't know, maybe me and you've went out and I paid for a hotel and you're halving it with me, and £90, oh, like whatever, like paramilitary money or something.
Yeah. IRA fund.
Like the guy, my solicitor doesn't know me. He's probably scrolling through that and going, "Oh, whoa, hold on a wee second. Oh, what's this?" And I'm like,
going home.
"That's just my mate having a bit of bounce."
Don't sweat it, bro.
You know what I mean?
Boys, he's having a laugh.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just just
Ross Evans, second commander, Ballymena.
Ballymena Battalion.
Yeah, I suppose that brings that to then. Like, it's going to be very difficult
Be
for kids
careful
in the
out
future.
there,
like.
kids. Be careful out there. We have actually done 45 minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it there. You have more questions. We'll revisit this another time. If you've liked this style of podcast, let us know. And if you have any questions,
How many did we get?
send them into Aaron.
Out of it.
Or send them into Aaron. Email us here's-to-crack@gmail.com or send us the wee DM.
Slide in.
Slide in.
Right. We're going to end it here because I'm down for a piss.
It's actually ending in a tie as well.
Has it?
It's ending in a tie.
How can it
Because he doesn't have like the three of you didn't have a clear
I'll
answer.
give
in that.
the results quickly.
So very quickly, the money no object stag do. Shay won that with Drifting to Japan.
Nice.
The wildest conspiracy theory. Ross, you won that with Area 51 because I think that's cool. I'm more interested in that. And if you got paid the same for every job, Tommy won that with Golfer because I think objectively that's the correct answer.
Fuck.
very correct answer.
Fair play though. Like objectively, yeah, that's fair.
Alright, I'm going to the turrets.
Anyway,
Over here.
thank you very, very much for listening. And
Piss
as,
my pants.
as I say, subscribe, all that there, jazz. Tommy's away to pee. But yes, thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye.
Anything else to add, Shay?
Have fun. Be good.
Have fun.
Stay safe.
Stay safe out there,
Use
kid.
cash.
Yeah.
Cash is king.
Bye-bye.
Bye.